Hello, my name is Nick Ness, and I'm starting a YouTube channel that is going to be based on informing you about the environment, history, geology, literature, like Harry Potter, uh, Lord of the Rings, and even some film analysis. But today, to start off my first video, I really wanted to talk to you about CO2 emissions and who would be the best presidential candidate to fit the term and actually get the environment back to where it should be. So I'm going to start off with telling you that CO2 emissions are through the roof since 1790. It's just been on the growth since we discovered fossil fuels, and it's doubling every year. It's not good. So we're going to CO2 parts per million, ppm parts per million. The U.S. government says that a safe carbon parts per million is 350 parts per million. As of right now in the United States, it's 400 parts per million. And with our doubling, or with our growth in carbon going into the air and other factors taken into consideration, like the making of Keystone Pipeline XL, all those factors put together, it's supposed to rise to 600 ppm by the end of 2020. This could mean significant effects on humankind, animal kind, and especially the temperature of the earth as a whole. It's just going to be really bad, because if we keep this up and it gets hotter and hotter, the water levels are going to rise. And since the beginning of the century, they've already risen by 8 inches, which may not seem like a lot, but 8 inches is enough to cover up some tiny islands in water. And by the end of this century, it is predicted by some that enough ice, about the size of Greenland, and all the ice on Greenland, is going to melt, and that's enough water that it will completely submerge the city of London. That's not good. So that's taking into consideration all the things that are being built, such as the Keystone Pipeline XL, which is very important to this carbon going into the air. It's very important because this pipeline is just destroying our environment. They have to strip mine. They have to contaminate 4 barrels of clean water. They have to make ponds of toxic sludge just to make 1 barrel of crude oil. And they have to burn natural gases. So they're just emitting carbon all over the place, just so that they can make 1 barrel of crude oil, send it down a pressurized tube all the way into the United States, where we can process it in our factories. That takes more gases and fossil fuels and emits more carbon into the air, so that we can have a cheaper means of energy. Now, if we just switch to renewable energy, it may cost a little bit in the beginning because businesses would have to switch to it. However, the overall economic impact on it would actually be better, because Britain, their economy grew by 2.6%, and they had 8.4 less carbon emissions that year. So that means they were going more renewable energy, and they had more economic growth, because they had to actually make those windmills or hydropower turners or solar panels. So the Keystone Pipeline XL is actually going to lose jobs for the United States of America. It's going to lose people jobs. It's going to create more carbon emissions, and it's going to increase the United States of America's dependence on oil, and it's going to be game over because emissions are going to go through the roof and we're not going to be able to get the carbon out of the atmosphere. So the best candidate to actually get our environmental concerns dealt with and effectively, it's Green Party candidate Jill Stein. As of right now, she's getting 4% of the votes in the poll. So we really need to get more votes towards Jill Stein because she can get all this done, and she will get us to be less dependent on China and really just get the environment back up to where it should be, because it's really bad at the moment, and we need someone who can take initiative and actually get the environment back to where it needs to be. So if you're considering voting and you are concerned about the environment, please consider voting for Jill Stein, because she may be our last hope at trying to fix the environment. Thank you, and again, this is my first video, so thank you for watching, if you watch, and I will come out with another one soon. Thank you.